Om. 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 Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratan Karunamayam Namami Chinmayan Devam Satgurum Brahma Vidvaram Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram Yo Vantah Pravishya Mama Vachamimam Prasuptam Sanjeevayatya Shakti Dharasvadhamna Anyauscha Hasta Charana Shravanatvagadin Pranan Namo Bhagavate Purushaya Tubhyam Pranan Namo Bhagavate Purushaya Tubhyam Samacharana Sarojam Sandra Neelambudabham Jaghana Nihita Panim Mandanam Mandananam Taruna Tulasi Malam Kandharam Kanjanetram Sadayadhavalahasam Vitthalam Chintayami Vitthalam Chintayami. So I'll start from 277. The king's mind was very happy, and prostrating before the monk, he asked a question with folded hands and humility.
Yaduruvacha tato buddhiriyam brahman akartus suvisharada yamasadya bhamalokam vidvamscharati balavat.
Meaning of the verse. Yadu asked, O Brahman, whence did you get this highly penetrating wisdom, having obtained which you, though enlightened, go about in the world like an innocent boy? 278. O Swamin, we see extraordinary wisdom in you, which is not possible to attain even after performing lots of rituals and penance. 279. You appear to be skillful in all the ritualistic performance, but you are quietly peaceful without doing anything. You are aware of your non-doership, and therefore we see in you the innocence of a child which has no aim in its mind. 280. You look like a child, but you are not childish. To me, you appear to be omniscient. 281. I do not see in others in this world the fulfillment of human life, which I see in you.
Tayo dharmartha kameshu vivitsayancha manavaha hetunaiva samihante ayusho yashasashriyaha.
Meaning of,
Ayusho yashasashriyaha. Sorry.
yeah. Meaning of the verse. Generally, men strive after religious merit, riches, and enjoyments, as well as after self-enquiry only, from the motive of acquiring longevity, renown, and fortune. 282. Mostly people in this world try to acquire knowledge which will be useful to fulfill religious, monetary, or sexual, etc. aspirations. 283. They declare that they are following the religious rules. They float on the wave of popularity and fame about their spiritual baths. But at the first opportunity, they sell the merit of Gayatri Mantra for some amount of money. 284. They say that they perform the sacrifices according to the rules laid down in the Vedas. They re-establish the religion of Vedas and at last turn that ritual of yajnas into a means of earning money. 285. Some waste darbha, good earth and water under the pretext of performance of their ordained duty, but do not give a handful of grains to a chance beggar arriving at their door. 286. There are some who take initiation of the Vaishnava cult in order to gain popularity and blow conch, holding it in both hands after pompously performing puja, etc. All simple hypocrisy. 287. There are performers who who as medicine men profess that they save the lives of people by giving proper drugs, and therefore they are lifesavers, but they kill animals and destroy many things to prepare medicines and make capital of their professional success to become favorite among people. 288. Some weigh themselves and give in charity material equal to their weight, to others only to gain good fame. But in that process, they weigh their body containing urine and excreta against money or pure articles. 289. But they never spent even a pie in true charity. Please see how these ignorant persons are deluded. They forget that thing which is really good for their evolution. 290. Those who had no enough past merit to ensure riches worship the goddess Lakshmi, but never have devotion for Narayana, who is the spouse of goddess Lakshmi. 291. Lakshmi is the wife of Sri Hari, who is the guru of all the universe. But people become attracted and greedy about money, which is a symbol of Lakshmi, and try to hoard it. They do not give Lakshmi to a husband. Therefore, Sri Hari puts them into hell. 292. People worship the sun god for cure of disease and gaining good health, but they do not remember that this body itself is perishable, and therefore they really forget that they are Atman. 293. We thus see people mad after prolongation of lifespan for fame or for money. But, oh Swamin, it is very surprising that you are always having awareness and unity with Brahman. 294. The pull of sense objects is tremendous. So people are deluded by the great illusion, and by seeking knowledge, they desire to enjoy the carnal satisfaction through knowledge. 295. People use the terminology of Vedanta and Vartikas and speak fluently in the exponents of non-dual Brahman. But finally, they sell the knowledge for a certain amount of money. This is really astonishing. 296. Some people call themselves the masters of yoga and take a posture, control their breath, and sit silent with closed eyes. But in their mind, they are thinking of sense objects. 297. In this way, some curious people are doing some penance for gaining knowledge, but they are foolish. But you have really directly experienced the self, which fact is really extraordinary. 298. In this way, O Avadhuta Swamin, you do not value physical life even equal to a blade of dry grass. And having no regard for all the words and people, you have simply attained the great final welfare of self. 299. You are satisfied by the bliss of Atman, and evidently you are at peace with yourself and the world. Please listen to the reasons of my saying so, because I see the following qualities in you.
Vantu kalpah kavirdakshah subhago mritabhashanah nakartane hase kinchit jadonmatta pishachavat.
Meaning of the verse: you are able-bodied, learned, skillful, good-looking, and sweet is your speech. But you do nothing, covet nothing, and behave like a stupid person, a madman, or a ghost. 300. As for your evident virtues, I would like to say that you are omniscient, but you do not allow your knowledge to be apparent. You do not do any particular work nor desire anything. You let others think that your peacefulness is due to your lack of intellect. 301. You're totally at ease, but there is nothing wanting in you, nor there is any defect in your body. Therefore, you look very handsome. 302. I feel that knowledge was alone, without any companion. It found you and took resort in you. Thus, you are called Kavi, which means a person of knowledge. 303. Even while doing actions, you are a non-doer. This is your alertness. Your talk is sweet with the juice of knowledge of Brahman. How can nectar be equal to it in sweetness? 304. You have taken the juice of Brahman and are beyond the common sense of social ego. Therefore, being in a permanent state of bliss, you have no eyes for any other being. 305. Since you're always awake in your Atmic state, you never say that something is yours and something belongs to others. This very quality of non-differentiation appears as madness to the onlookers. 306. You're completely satisfied by self-knowledge and you have become calm and cool by supreme joy. These signs are evident in you.
अन्येषु दह्यमानेषु कामलोभदवाग्निना न तप्यसेऽग्निना मुक्तः गङ्गाभस्त इव द्विपः.
Meaning of the verse: in the midst of people burning with the wild fire of lust and greed, you remain unscathed by that fire, and like an elephant standing in the waters of the Ganga, you are cool and not scorched by these. 307. Sir, I see all the three worlds burning in the fire of desire and greed, and I see nobody who has escaped from it. 308. But, O Avadhuta, you are not scorched, though you are in the forest of fire of these vikaras. This is your wonderful power of keeping calm, which we will not be able to decipher any time. 309. If an elephant jumps into the water of Ganga when there is fire on both the banks of the river, he feels cool. Similarly, you are free from sorrow. 310. The opposites like cold and hot do not affect you. You are steady in your nature of Brahman. Therefore, O the kind image of benediction, I would make a small request.
त्वं हि नः पृच्छतां ब्रह्मन् आत्मन्यानन्दकारणं ब्रूहि स्पर्शविहीनस्य भवतः केवलात्मनः.
Meaning of the verse: please tell us who are making this inquiry, O Brahman, the cause of joy abiding in you, even though you are living singly and not having common pleasure of senses. 311. You are a Brahmin having realization of Brahman and are full of self-bliss. Please tell me clearly, what is the cause of this joy? 312. Though you are in the body, you are not bound by it. The objects cannot even touch you. How did you achieve such aloofness? 313. You are not intimidated by the power of king, nor are you attracted to rich people. You, however, like a meek person, and oblige him by imparting him the knowledge of the self. 314. You are in this way very compassionate. You appear to be brother of unhappy people and is very kind to the devotees fulfilling their aspirations. 315. In this way, the Lord Sri Krishna began to tell Uddhava the dialogue between Yadu and Avadhuta. He said, now please hold in your heart the wisdom which I am going to tell you.
श्रीभगवानुवाच यदुनैवं महाभागः ब्रह्मण्येन सुमेधसा पृष्टः सभाजितः प्राह प्रश्रयावनतन्द्विजः.
Meaning of the verse: the Lord said, Avadhuta the Brahmin, thus being asked by the intelligent Yadu, who respected Brahmins and who had at that time bowed humbly at his feet, said to Yadu as follows. 316. Shripati began to describe for Uddhava the great fortune of Yadu. He said, Yadu was really having great regard for Brahmins. He was pious and essentially good. He was faithful and intelligent. 317. By great luck, Avadhuta met Yadu, who was also so fortunate when Yadu was humbly asking him questions relating to his own welfare. 318. He worshipped Avadhuta by sweet articles such as curds, honey, etc., and requested him with soft and sweet words. Avadhuta was pleased and began to speak.
ब्राह्मण उवाच सन्ति मे गुरवो राजन् बहवो बुद्ध्युपाश्रिताः यतो बुद्धिमुपादाय मुक्तोटामीह तान् शृणु.
Meaning of the verse: Brahmin said, O king, I have many gurus from whom I have become wise, and by using that wisdom I am free and wander at my sweet will. Please listen to the names, etc., of those teachers. 319. The Brahmin spoke with such energy that one felt as if there was a high tide to the ocean of milk, or the cloud of kindness thundered, or the self bliss was having a great upsurge. 320. He said, "O the crown jewel of all kings, you are the sun giving light to your Yadava race. Blessed is your talk. You have pleased me with your virtues." 321. There is only one king, I mean, you yourself, who are a monarch, and you are pious and very much adorned by signs of a master of wisdom. I did not find anyone like you on the face of the earth. 322. You are beautiful and qualified by virtues. You have put the best questions about my own state of supreme inner joy. I am going to tell you properly and in details about it. 323. O king, self-realization is never possible without a guru. And I am going to tell you all about my teachers with every particular quality. 324. In order to develop my own power of discrimination, I learned from my gurus. Whoever was seen with a particular quality, I adopted for myself that guru from that quality. 325. My intellect grasped and followed that equality, held and developed with determination that quality in my heart. By that learning, I attained freedom, and now I am roaming on the face of the earth at my own sweet will. 326. Dear King, the only means of going beyond the worldly life is right intellect. There is no scope for any other means. Why should one worry about them? 327. One who has no right intellect becomes the handmaid of mundane life, and he has to suffer many pains without a moment's respite. 328. If there is no right thinking, there is no desirelessness in the mind. How can one go beyond? He has absolutely no discrimination, even in his dream. 329. One who is desireless and has right way of thinking finds that the worldly life is nothing before him. He cuts it into two, the samsara, in one stroke. 330. If worldly life is at all really existing, then there is the question of doing something to destroy it. But for a man who enters the town of discrimination, the worldly life is not existing. 331. In bringing about the end of worldly life, the intelligence of the disciple is the main key. And if it is very strong, the worldly life proves to be as illusory as a mirage. 332. The disciple has to use his common sense about what should be adopted and what should be neglected from all the teaching given by his guru. 333. Eknath says, the very teaching is being given in Marathi language, to which please listen. In this way, the level of understanding of the disciple is very clearly seen. 334. Now, I shall tell you the signs of the intelligence by using the imagery. The sifter, strainer, and the oven are to be compared with our actions in this behalf, together with the simile about preparing food. In the strainer, whatever is small and good powder falls down, and only the unwanted stones, chaff, etc. remain in it. 336. This should not be followed in our life. It is to be avoided. We should not keep stones or husk in hand, and should not let good things fall off through our minds. 337. The sifter works in a different way. It throws away the husk or unwanted articles from the good grains which it keeps with itself. We should do likewise. 338. The oven becomes hot. We should be hot by desirelessness. The oven cooks food in the pot kept on it. We should make others fully ready and properly cooked, giving them complete ripeness of self-experience. 339. Oh, the brave king, we should follow both these methods of keeping good things and discarding unwanted things like the sifter, and being desireless like the fire in the oven. The spiritual way of life is easily achieved like a mirror in hand. 340. The Brahmin said to Yadu, you should bear in mind the point which I have told you. 341. I valued everything as Guru for whatever good quality I imbibed from it, and thus there are for me innumerable Gurus. The whole world seems to me my Guru that teaches me. 342. He whose good quality was learnt by me became my Guru very naturally, but he whose bad qualities I discarded in my life also became my Guru. 343. Thus, both became my gurus, in one case by adopting his virtues, and in the other case, learning to avoid his defects in my life. O King, you should think along these lines. Then you will also see the whole world full of the quality of a guru. 344. When we observe slowly and subtly in this way, the whole world is to us the guru, the teacher. One who has this approach becomes a man of spiritual virtues. 345. You will not grasp this as a whole very easily, and maybe you will be simply at a loss about what should be done. So, I will tell you about some important persons or beings whom I regarded as my gurus.
Very good. I think we can pause over for today. Yes, Lataji, give your thoughts, what you felt while reading.
Yeah, I mean, there was so much, but what I really liked or sort of it went in is that the whole world is a teacher, a guru. That means experience is the best teacher. And he says, whatever is good, you imbibe from them. And definitely, whatever is not good and shouldn't be, you discard it. And I like the way he compared this great learning, like being a sifter or the oven which burns away, like compare, the heat from fire, which would burn away all the desires. And, when you sift and you have the husk and everything, so basically, you only take the good, all the bad stones and everything you just throw away. So, I mean, he did learn from people, but he also learned from the good and the bad, and that I think is what is an important lesson, because sometimes you don't have to. You have a teacher or a guru, but then you also learn from experience and observing what's happening around the world.
Yes.
So that is one very important thing. And when he mentioned in the earlier verses about how people do all these yajnas and rituals for show, it reminded me about chapter 17, isn't it, where they talk about how they do, like even the dhanam which they are giving, or all the act, whatever they are doing is just for the sake of show, and without any thinking deeply about it. It's all only for their own personal gain. So that is one thing I sort of.
Beautifully summed up. Yes. Yes, Lataji. Anybody has any other thoughts to add? You're trying to unmute Vinisha. Maybe I can help.
It is more of Rajasic nature.
Yes. Mm. What to keep and what to throw, the knowledge of that.
We need the intellect.
From whom to learn what? Yes, Vinisha, yes. What you wanted to add?
No, I also like that analogy of the sifter and the strainer, because I always feel when I get into a fight with my spouse, I always tend to bring up all these gross remains, right? And I forget all the subtle goodness that I've received, and I just bring up these stones in our life, and it's such a reflection of he doesn't do any religious studies or anything, but he embodies all the values of spirituality, because he's just he's much more realized as a soul, I guess, than I am. I like that very much. And there's an English book which had made a big impact on me when I read it many years back. It's called The East of Eden, and it's written by John Steinbeck. And it's just a gorgeous tapestry of life, and the whole vista of humanity set in California in the 1930s. And one of the characters that stands out actually is the servant. He's a Chinese guy called Lim. And the way the author explores his character is that turns out he's actually the smartest guy in the diaspora, and he's chosen to be a servant because he does not want to take the pressures of the businessman and so on, and how he explains his role in life and how he's found his swadharma. And he says, I work 9 to 6 and I do my duty and I get adequate money and I'm cared for by my master and I don't have to take any stress or strain. And I have chosen this out of my own being. And, through that thing, I mean, now when I'm realizing it also effectively reflects on the quality of a self-realized soul, because he could be what he wanted to, but he had used his intellect to choose something that he felt would give him peace. And I think sometimes we forget that there are smart people who are not necessarily the most famous and
Mm.
moneyed. So there was one shloka, also, I mean, one verse here which was exactly like that chapter 18, right? Asanga shastrena dhridena chitva, how you have to cut the cord of samsara. So I think that was also there. 329. 329 has that. Yeah.
Mm.
Exactly like verse 3 in chapter 15.
Mm. Yes.
Yeah, right.
Nice correlation. Nice correlation. Yeah.
Uh, yeah, I mean, sorry to bring up my mother because I mean, I guess she was my first guru, and I'm sure we have each of us has gurus in our parents and children and so on. But she through her journey of the Gita, I think, I mean, in her latter years, I saw her very, very illuminating, and she always said that you needed only two qualities to survive in this world, and one was insaniyat, and the other was viveka. And I know that there were several of my friends who were going through divorces, and she counseled them in this way. She said, when you married that person, you surely saw some humanity in that person. And if things have gone sour, you have to have the courage to see that insaniyat and not get into the trappings of the lawyers who want to make money on both sides, and just learn to say, forgo that relationship and move on, right? And I think she had that spirit of Viveka. She had that ability to move on.
Yeah. ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ श्रीकृष्णार्पणमस्तु ॐ ॐ ॐ हरि ओम
Hari Om. Thank you for lovely chanting. Thank you for lovely thoughts, Vanisha. Very nicely said. Hari Om, everyone. Thank you for joining us on Monday. I'll
Yep.
start the reading. Who wants to take up the reading for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday?
I can take on Tuesday.
Yes, okay. Wednesday, Thursday.
Tuesday is the that Narayaniam chant. I thought
Narayan chanting 5 to
and
6:30, then 6:45 daily Gita, 7:15.
okay.
This means the India time, I'm saying.
Still there. Okay,
Okay.
okay.
You want to take on Wednesday?
Again, yeah.
Okay, then Thursday remains. Who wants to do on Thursday? Venkatesh on Thursday. Okay, fair enough. So we meet on Monday and we will see now what's more in store in this story. Oh, have I lost my connection? Ah,
Thursday.
Okay, I lost my connection in between. Okay, Monday it's me, Tuesday it's am I audible?
Yeah.
Oh, my connection, my goodness.
Yeah,
Okay, Monday
yeah,
it's
we
me,
can.
Tuesday Nikhila ji, Wednesday Sajeev ji, and Thursday Venkatesh ji for the next week. Okay, let's see what is. And then the following week again we can have Vinisha
Thank
ji,
you.
Lata ji. Continue. Okay, see you.
Yeah.
Hari Om. Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.